evening, everyone. Welcome to Songbook Watch Party. I'm Dominic Farinacci, and it's a pleasure to literally see all of you on Zoom tonight. And this is the first time that we're simulcasting on YouTube and Facebook, so greetings to all of you as well. This is a brand new series, and we have some wonderful special guests here at Songbook Watch Party. It's, excuse me, it's all about bringing together some wonderfully gifted artists from around the world, some good conversation, and specifically some songs that we create virtually in our homes from wherever we are around the world, specifically for each episode. So we're going to debut a few songs for you tonight. So thank you all so much for joining. Excuse me. I'm here in my home in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm sorry, I have something in my thing here. Okay, good. All right, good. Here we go. I'm here in my home in Cleveland, Ohio, and to get things started, I have this great portrait of Louis Armstrong in the back. And given that this is the beginning of a brand new series that we hope can be sustained over many months and many years, I'd like to play a song that was one of the first songs that I learned how to play when I was a kid. This is called A Kiss to Build a Dream On. Thank you. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Tonight we have a lot of wonderful special guests joining us. Matisse Picard on piano, Bria Skonberg on vocals and trumpet. Diego Figueiredo is joining us from near São Paulo, Brazil, on guitar. And Julian the Bro on accordion. Before we welcome some of them to the stage, we'd like to welcome our resident guest artist, wonderful saxophonist and pianist and scholar. His name is Lawrence Schoenberg. He is the founder of the National Jazz Museum in Harlem. He's a multi-Grammy Award-winning writer, and he was my teacher at the Juilliard School, Jazz History in New York City back in the early 2000s. He's a dear friend and mentor of mine. Please welcome to Songbook Watch Party, Lawrence Schoenberg.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Hey, Dom.
Lauren, all right. All right, how are you?
Can you believe this? I'm good. We're having a heat wave here in New York. Can you believe this? It was almost 80 degrees today.
Yeah, I know.
Really.
It's warm here in Cleveland, too, and I'm in my apartment in a suit. Yeah, so that's working out well, I know. But it's nice to feel some beautiful weather coming.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to tonight. I really am. I mean, I know you had folks on from before from far away. But this is like this reminds me of like the old Ed Sullivan show or something. It's like you got all these stars lined up from all different places at one time. You know, it's almost like, with Larry King, Winnipeg, go ahead. So it's
Well, that's
Anyway,
good because when we had Aaron Deal on earlier when we were doing the private shows, he called me Geraldo Rivera. So good. It's a step up. We're Larry King. That's good. But it's great. And I know some of these artists actually, Lauren, you introduced me to. Before we get started, you have your horn there?
you know what? I'm sorry, I'm not going to be playing tonight. As you can see, my horn is back over here. It's just spring has sprung, and a spring sprung on my tenor sax, and I cannot play G or G sharp. So I tried to figure something that I could play, like, you know, modal or something like that. So I'll be back next week with my
Oh,
sax.
okay. All right. All right. Yeah, I hope you get that worked out. All right. Well, we'd like to present to you a wonderful guest artist. Like to check this brief clip out. The first time I heard him was actually on a YouTube video that him and some wonderfully gifted young musicians were doing with Wynton Marsalis overseas. And we first got the opportunity to play together out in London on a few different projects we were working on, and then we got to go to Florence, Italy together. We just played together a few times. He's one of my favorite young pianists on the scene. Matisse Picard, check this clip out of him playing with Wynton Marsalis. Yes, that's beautiful. Please welcome to the virtual stage, joining us from New York City as well, Matisse Picard.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hi, Dom. Hello, Lauren. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Matisse, great to see you, man. How are things in New York?
Well, as Lauren was saying, things are starting to get hot over here. It's basically 80 degrees today, so I put on my best shirt. We're doing okay though. It's really a pleasure to be here, man. You're looking lovely.
Oh, thanks, man. It's great to tune into your YouTube stream that you have going on as well, man. It's great to see all kinds of artists creating series and appreciate the work you're putting into it. Yeah.
Man,
So,
thank you.
you know, I'd love to hear you play something live before we show the song that we did together. But Matisse, I know when we first met and listening to your music, you know, it's evident that it brings together all kinds of, you know, musical cultures. And I know from when you were a kid until now, you've been kind of all over the place. Can you just let us know the different places you've been in terms of like growing up over the years? And maybe
Yeah.
how has that like impacted your musical influence? And I'd love to hear you play something.
Okay, great. So I'm French. I was born in Grenoble, right in France, and immediately when I was 3 years old, my family moved to Chicago, and then after Chicago, we moved to Pittsburgh when I was about 4 years old, and that's where I started playing the piano, and that was the Suzuki piano method. So if you know that, that's classical music by ear. So I immediately from the get-go, whether it was classical or jazz music, it was always a love of listening to the music by ear, right? Then we moved back to France, and I continued classical studies. Then I picked up jazz studies because it just all the music became about reading, you know, reading music. And I discovered jazz, and there I got into the music of Horace Silver, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, so songs like Sister Sadie and stuff like that. And then when I was around 10, my family moved to Scotland and Glasgow, and there I continued doing jazz and classical, but it was time for me to do it seriously. So I eventually got to a classical boarding school where they soaked me in so much classical music, but then I also had a jazz teacher who was giving me some jazz influence. So while I was in this boarding school, I was being taught Bach's music, Beethoven's music, Ravel's music, Chopin's music. But then my love for jazz never stopped, and I was actually having this conversation early today. around that time when I was 12, I saw a video of Oscar Peterson doing a boogie woogie song, and it just blew my mind what he was doing with his left hand. It just something about it just blew me away, and I thought, okay, I have to learn how to do that.
Uh-huh.
Well, I bought a transcription book of, all right, what is he doing? What's happening with the left hand? How can I learn this? And my love, it was my secret love, because no one really shared this love at the time in England with me for early jazz piano. And I kept it under my belt. I learned Carolina Shout and a bunch of these compositions. And then I eventually came to Juilliard, and then there it was able to flourish into something completely different, because there I found a community and people, including Lauren Schoenberg, who knew about this music and who could share their love for it. So there, so far at that point in my life, when I got to Juilliard, I had a pretty separate windows of music. So I had the classical side where I was learning impromptus, Chopin impromptus, but then I had my own love of stride piano and a separate love for dance music too. I love music that has a pulse, you know, music that dances, you know. So I was really into electronic music as well.
Yeah, man, and it's interesting to hear you talk. I mean, about all these different influences, because they all come through in like one note that you play, man. So I'd love to hear you play something live from New York here.
Live from New York. All right. Since we're talking about the past, let me play a little "Memories of You" by U.B. Blake.
All right. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, memories of you.
Memories of you.
I have a question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've heard you play so many different kinds of music, and yet it all feels like Matisse. And I'm wondering, if you, A, I'd like to know, and B, I'm wondering about the folks listening to the broadcast. When you go from A to Z sometimes, even though to our ears it sounds like a different kind of music or a different thing, I'm wondering, do you feel the same inside? It's the same feeling that you get no matter whether you're hooked up to the Z music or the A music. Uh, how does someone like you do so many different things when it all feels so natural, but it's so wide?
Do you mean within the same song, or you mean literally? You might have seen me play.
In your musical life?
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
yeah,
Well, that's it's kind of connected to what I was saying about learning music by ear. You know, the Suzuki piano method. Uh, the thing that connects it all to me is the voice inside, right? It's come to a point for me that I don't learn classical music anymore by reading it. I just listen to if I'm learning a Bach prelude as if I'm transcribing a solo. So it what I've wanted to do is to completely erase all notation so that I could kind of maybe tap into something that's deeper and perhaps that's intent, you know, the intent of melody, the intent of storytelling. Uh, that's something that comes straight to mind. The thing that really uh, I love the most is dance. You know, it's the feeling of imagining a couple or someone dancing to the music. That's what my main source of inspiration is, and that's what allows me to keep um, going deeper into these different landscapes of music, of the greater
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, yeah, and when you so this next song we're gonna do actually when you mentioned it yesterday when we were talking about what songs we can collaborate on, you mentioned this song by Charlie Shavers, who's one of my favorite trumpet players, and certainly coming from that era when it was all about people dancing to the music. And this is a song actually that it's so funny you mentioned this song because I have a kind of a deep connection to it in my early childhood growing up and playing, and I actually haven't played it since then. So we'd like to now debut this song that Matisse and I did just yesterday, specifically for this episode. So this is written by the great trumpet player Charlie Shavers, and this is called Undecided. Check it out. job, Matisse. Man. Oh, thank you all very much. Yes.
You
All
know,
right.
it's a funny story how that got its title. He wrote it for Benny Goodman's band, and or Benny Goodman heard it and wanted an arrangement of it, and they went to the recording studio and they found Charlie Shavers out on the road somewhere with John Kirby. They said, "You guys tell us the name of the tune because we're about to make the record." And he wrote back, title undecided.
But you
Oh.
know what's so beautiful about this is actually the first time I really played this song was with you, Lauren, when we did that John Kirby concert. I just fell in love with this song, and
Yeah, man, it's beautiful, beautiful. Great connection to it. Thanks for suggesting that, Matisse. And I got to say, it was really difficult actually on my end to play along and figure out something to contribute to that orchestra that, you know, whatever was happening there, man. It's great. It's great to play with you, and thank you very much for joining us. You guys are going to see Matisse on the back end of this show with Bria here. So thank you very much.
thank you so
Matisse.
much, Dom. Beautiful stuff. Thank you for having me always.
Of course, we'll see you in a bit. Yeah, great. So Robert Brown says like the Ed Sullivan Show, but on Sunday night live. Okay, well I got some work to do for sure. Yeah, and I'll tell you, I started getting nervous when I was 15 years old, 12 years old, playing in the clubs and trying to like host a show. And then that kind of faded once I was like 23 or 24. I had a really good good feel for it. But I'll tell you, since I'm hosting this, I've never been so nervous in my entire life because of all the technological stuff happening, the fact that this damn dog next door that fortunately you haven't heard barking yet goes off, right? The internet, all these things, and trying to make sure that everything's in sync. So this is certainly a new experience, and it's been a blast doing it though, and it's really special to kind of connect in this way, given the gravity of the situation that's happening. Great, it's nice to see. Great, thank you all for the wonderful comments. Somebody mentioned yes about Clifford Brown earlier from Memories of You. Clifford Brown, man, one of my favorites. Great, great. So we'd like to thank our lead sponsor for helping to make this show not only happen, but being able to bring this show to Facebook and YouTube and to provide it for complimentary. Speaking of the Tri-C Jazz Fest Cleveland, I'm right here in Cleveland. Cleveland's my hometown, and at Tri-C Jazz Fest, when I was just 14 or 15, I had some of the greatest experiences of my life there, and I got to meet Wynton Marsalis. I got to play with so many wonderful artists, and ever since then, I've been really connected to Jazz Fest. I'm the director of the Tri-C Jazz Fest Academy there, and we have an incredible festival coming up that, of course, is going to be completely reimagined. And if you visit tricjazzfest.com to check it out, a lot of cool stuff happening. Thank you. So we'd now like to hello from your fans in Talbot County, Maryland. Yes, all right. Rick, all right. Okay, cool. Oh man, near Easton. Have so many great friends there, and the Monty Alexander Jazz Festival is in Easton. Been there many times, many times. Great. So now we'd like to welcome an accordionist. Now, accordion, I think everybody has their own funny accordion story. My other buddy, Michael, who plays accordion, comes up from New Orleans. He says every time he comes to Cleveland, somebody gives him a new accordion. That's really kind of funny and random. Anyway, I love accordion. I have this fascination with it, and this next guest is one of my favorites. He's not only an incredible musician on accordion, a multi-instrumentalist, but he's a great writer in the orchestral setting. So check this piece out, a clip of this piece. This is a piece that he actually wrote and debuted with the Qatar Philharmonic Orchestra, which coincidentally is where I lived for a few years, and it's great to see a lot of my friends on screen there. So check this out, composition and playing by Julien Lebreau. That's great. Please welcome to the virtual stage, Julien Lebreau. Julien,
Hi, how are you?
what's happening? Good, good. Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Like I feel like I see you every day with all this technology stuff. It's amazing. I see you more now than I have in a while.
Right, right. I know that's a lot of fun. And so before we play this song that we collaborated on, I know you have your accordion, bandoneon, and accordina with you, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So like, I want you to like nerd out for a couple minutes and show us all these different sounds.
All right, so I'll start with the accordion. So this might not be your typical accordion that's known in the States, but actually the button accordion was the instrument was the way with all buttons that was the way the accordion was intended to be. And so it's only later in the piano keys were made simply because they realized that they could sell a lot more instruments if at least one side was familiar to many people. And sonically, it's, well... You can do anything classical music. I mean, it's an amazing instrument. I feel like often misrepresented and misunderstood, but however, the possibilities are endless, and there's a lot to do and a lot that I'm still discovering a lot to do with, even though I've been playing it for 30 years.
And I'd love to hear the instant contrast between that and the bandoneon. It's really real subtle. Yeah.
The bandoneon is some of you might be familiar with it because it's often associated with the music of tango. And as you can see, it's a lot smaller. And sonically, it's very different. The timbre is very... And the level of expression of this instrument is tremendous because the ability of contrasting a piano to a forte in a matter of milliseconds is quite amazing. If you think, not many instruments can be that expressive that quickly. Like, I don't know if it's coming out through the microphone of the live stream here, but anyway, the range of expression of this instrument is tremendous.
Yeah.
And this is a German instrument, even though it's familiar with tango music from Argentina. It was invented by Heinrich Band around the 1850s, and it was intended to play church music and support choirs and replace organs, like in small parishes that could not afford one. So they would have someone come in to support the choir and play chords for them underneath,
Totally hear it. The organ, right? Oh, that's beautiful, and in the accordina, which I think is kind of the easiest maybe to travel with, right?
Oh, this is the accordina. So.
That's it. Yes, I love the sound of this. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to refer to it as a hybrid between a harmonica and an accordion, and it's very familiar, to the melodica. However, sonically, I think it's a lot better.
Yes, that's beautiful, and yeah.
The problem, the toughest gig is when I have to travel with all three.
The next gig I call you for, I'm definitely having all three, and the accordions that are here in Cleveland waiting to be given away. So that's good. And I got to say, this next song that we did together, check it out. So it's called Domingando. It's a beautiful song from Brazil. And Julian, the version you played, man, was faster than I was intending. And it took me a minute to kind of get the technical proficiency down on this song. And so I know you're hearing this for the first time, right? So check this out. This is Domingando. fun. That was fun. And
Yeah, man, that's cool. Nice, dude.
beautiful job, Julian. It's so great to collaborate with you, and it really, excuse me, it really gets my chops up too. You know, really having to kind of practice all the technical stuff, which is really important. And I could only do a limited amount in my apartment because I said, you know, the dog, which is seemingly silent right now, like freaks out, right? And I never really, it's always been this awkward thing with my neighbor. I'm not sure he's a fan. I never play in my apartment, but now I'm running the show from it. So I think he unleashes the dog during the show, but fortunately maybe he's out today because of the beautiful weather. But anyway, I've been driving them nuts with, you know, like playing it like 15 times over. So I love it. So thank you. Great.
That's funny.
Julian, man, we're so glad to have you on the show, and thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to having you back. Round of applause for Julian the Bro. Yes?
Thank you. And thanks for what you came up with and doing this, and with the city of Cleveland and Terry at Tri-C Jazz Fest. I think what you're doing is amazing. And, you know, kudos to you and your team, Emmett, on the production, and Robert, and you guys are great. And it was really an honor. And Lauren, hi. It was an honor to be a part of this again. And thanks for, you know, for making me a part of this crazy technology stuff. And I'm learning with everyone. It's amazing. But it looks like it's something we may have to add to our arsenal of things to do as musicians.
Absolutely, yeah. No, and thank you for joining us and all your patience with getting this together. I know I see a comment from Larry. He says, over the weeks, the music has been phenomenal, but I want to call out your mastery of the technology to make it so easy for us to sign up and contribute. Thank you very much. At first, I think we had 15 different steps to just access one thing. So now we've really streamlined the process, and it's getting better and better. Great. So thank you, and thanks for your patience. Great. And yeah, Julian, you mentioned Cleveland. So I'd like to give a special thanks to Nighttown and Bop Stop at the Music Settlement and 90.3 WCPN, or local NPR station, and Live Nation. A lot of folks in Cleveland have really helped to kind of get this off the ground during the first month in April, when we were kind of piloting it and working it out. And it's great to see so many friends who've been with us for multiple episodes. So thank you very much. Also want to give a shout out to the Jazz Corner. Does a wonderful job. We're glad to be simulcasting on their page as well. Love the videos you're all posting and the work that you do, and all about and also all about jazz. Michael Ricci and the folks there who have just such a beautiful layout and a one-stop shop for jazz music, and we're really glad that all of you are helping to support this. Thank you. Great. So now it's been New York. Now we'd like to kind of take a detour, well, a different path, down to Brazil, where the next artist is joining us from near Sao Paulo. So I want you to check out this clip of Diego, which actually he played just down the street from Cleveland in Detroit at the Dirty Dog. And came across this beautiful solo piece that I'd like for you to check out. He's such an incredibly soulful musician. I'm really glad to actually play with him for the very first time virtually. Check it out. Beautiful. Please welcome.
Hello.
From Brazil, Diego Figueiredo. Hey, Diego. What's happening?
Hey, Dominic.
Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Nice to see you. Thank you for inviting me. A pleasure. Pleasure to be here.
So it's funny because I know we had the show together at the New York Botanical Gardens a couple of years back. That's where we first kind of played together. But I've been seeing you here in Cleveland so much. And I know you're between Cleveland and Sarasota and different places when you're not in Brazil and when you're not traveling. So What's the attraction to Cleveland anyway? I mean, there's a lot to be said. I'm just saying from your perspective, just curious.
Yeah, it's a nice story because I have a really strong connection with Cleveland. First time I went to Cleveland in 2008, actually to visit my friend, basketball player from Cleveland Cavaliers, Anderson Varejão.
Oh
He
yeah.
was a close friend of mine, and I came to Cleveland first time to visit him. And then that time I discovered the night town, and I met Jim Wadsworth and Steve Franklin, that is my manager and agent right now. And I have a lot of connection in Cleveland. I have a lot of friends in Cleveland. If I have to say one city in the United States that I have more connections, really Cleveland. I love Cleveland. So
Yeah, oh,
and
that's beautiful. Yeah. Well, I've
yeah,
seen
it's a
her many times with Cyril, wonderful vocalist, and with a lot of different artists. What have you been up to lately? Well, obviously before all of this happened, what have you been some of your latest projects?
So yeah, I've been playing guitar since I was really, really young. I was 6 years old. My father introduced the guitar, the Brazilian guitar. This is an acoustic guitar, but I play electric and acoustic. Mostly, I play acoustic guitar because I can show more my Brazilian style on guitar. And I have performed and played all over the world with my mostly I play solo. I have a lot of collaborations with many wonderful musicians, and I'd say my main ability is solo. So that's what I and I have performed with a lot of Brazilian singers in the past, like João Bosco, Gilberto Gil, Toquinho, and many others. And but most of the time I play my concerts and doing my music that I'd say it's a mix of Brazilian music, jazz, and classical.
Yeah, yeah. Beautiful. Love to hear something solo before we show a piece that we worked on together.
Sure, sure.
Yes, beautiful. Oh, thank you, Diego. That's lovely. I love your sensitivity and your lyricism and the clarity of everything you play. And this next song that we collaborated on here, a beautiful song by Jobim, we're thrilled to present this to you. And this is actually the very first time, right, Diego, that you and I are playing together. This is called Tristy.
Yeah.
That was fun, and thank you for doing that. That was a pleasure. And I've actually never played that song before. I know you had recommended it. Before we move on, I'm just curious. I mean, in terms of Jobim's influence on your music over the years.
Oh yeah, thank you, Dominique. Pleasure to be here. Yeah, this is a really beautiful song, and happy to be part of this show, live show. I hope you have more opportunity when everything, this crazy moment goes on. We come back and let's play more together. It's a pleasure.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Sounds good. All right, all right. Well, good. Thank you very much. Round of applause for Diego. Nice to see the beautiful comments here. Thank you, Diego. Great to have you. And great. So yeah, it was amazing.
Hey, Don,
Transported to a peaceful, happy place. Yes.
I just wanted to say that I wonder if it's the same for the folks out there that, we're all so isolated these days. These live broadcasts, it's one thing like, when they actually play pre-recorded things, which is great too. But one of the things that I'm digging about your series is the actual live element. And I'm finding that given the circumstances, this is about as close as we're going to get to like actual spontaneous surprise. And I just hope you can keep doing it and doing a lot more of it like this, because it gets my heart beating in a certain way when something's actually happening live, you know. And I think I heard Diego with Ken Poplawski also.
Oh, Ken, yeah, also from Cleveland.
Yeah, we recorded an album last year, duo. He mostly played clarinet and some tenor sax in this album
I have it.
too.
It was beautiful.
Oh,
Cool.
thank you so much.
Great music. Well, thank you very much, Diego, and appreciate it, Lauren. Yeah, working through all this technology and figuring out the most creative way. It's so important to, to really find that good connection to our audiences, and try to figure out to do it in the most meaningful and kind of intimate way. And that's why finding the balance of the pre-recorded stuff versus live versus interactive. And we love the questions. We actually love to physically see everyone who has the video on in Zoom, and nice to see the applause and all that, and we really appreciate all of your input. Thank you very much. So we'd like to welcome to our Songbook Watch Party series another musician who I've never collaborated with until this moment, and she's certainly one of my favorite trumpet players and vocalists and band leaders, and talk about such a wide range of musical influence. I'm really excited to kind of get to a few of these things. So please welcome, also in New York City, Bria Skonberg. Bria.
Hey everybody! Hello, 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 hello. Hey Dominic, hey everybody.
Hello. There you are. All right. Oh, good to see you.
I'm having such a good time. I don't get to come to this sort of show and listen to one of my favorite trumpet players collaborate with all these incredible players and just beautiful people. So I'm having a great time watching this show right now.
Oh, thank you. And I know you're keeping busy with your new music, your new music video, and all the great things you're doing on Facebook and Instagram and all that. You're keeping real busy now.
Yeah, we'll see what it amounts to, but no, I'm having a blast, much like you, taking the opportunity to collaborate and connect with a lot of people that I haven't either had a chance to before or just have been kind of too busy doing my own thing. So I was also appreciating, you are the U.S. ambassador of this whole project so far. You've got friends from France and Brazil, and I'm originally from Canada, so you're pulling us all together.
Got Canada in there. All right, great. I just wanted to check out this clip. It's just a short piece, Bria, that when I first kind of found out about you, went to this video clip, and just check it out. Love it. Well, that's a nice whiteboard.
Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams and leave your worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, you got it.
I've always loved that clip. Sorry, I just had to play it.
Oh, it's all good.
Lyrically and vocally what you're doing, and playing wise, which I really see the similarity there. It's just I love your expression and your musicality and your presence and all that. Very, very wonderful.
Thank you. We're only as strong as the sum of our parts. You couldn't see him, but that was Matisse on piano in that clip too. And that, man, to feel that rhythm section had some stripper kicks going there. Had that kind of groove in it. We're past 8 o'clock. All right, cool.
Well, that's because you have a bass player from Cleveland, Devin Starr.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. The
kind of why.
Cavaliers.
Yeah.
We're strong. That's I always call them. Give a shout out to Cleveland.
So we'd love. Can you do something? Is it too late to do something in your apartment?
Well, you know what? I was thinking about that. My
Yeah.
neighbors.
Well, it's 8 right now. Yeah, we can give them.
Yeah,
free,
no, it's okay.
even though it's all free, but yeah.
It's not too bad, actually. You were talking about Charlie Shavers, who, get to riff on trumpet players, has been one of my favorite heroes for a long time. And so one of my favorite things he does, especially with the John Kirby Sextet, is use these mutes that are really close to his bell. Sorry to geek out a bit. I'm going to use this mute that I love. This is called an easy bucket mute. It sounds kind of like a bucket mute, but that'll hopefully make everybody happy right now.
Okay, good.
And yeah, tonight, trying to think of what I could do. You know, I think as musicians and artists, we have a few roles in this, in the whole big picture. I want us to document history, what's going on, and keep human beings relating to the human experience, and also to just kind of fight evil and make sure some good vibes are staying out. So I'm going to do a song that is very much uplifting and somehow going to be a collaboration between Charlie Shavers and Bing Crosby, whose birthday we are celebrating today. How about that?
Right. A lot of birthdays in the past.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Jazz. And here we have a 4-bar interlude. Change over, sing it with me. You've got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You've got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith or pandemonium's liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah and the whale, Noah and that ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Well, they said you'd better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. Yes, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
Yes, all right. Oh, I've never seen you play ukulele live. I love it.
And that's why.
Sounds
Actually,
good
I've
to
been
me.
having a fun time. I've been hosting these Facebook hangouts a couple times a week, and it's just song stories, sing-alongs, whatever we can do to just keep on through. So I've been playing some uke, some keys, whatever.
Well, and I know you've been busy with so many projects. I want to just play a clip of this music video that you just released a couple days ago on the song you wrote. Because, I mean, just to hear your influence here and just your wide span of musical influence, it really kind of comes together in everything you do. And so, if you don't mind, just want to play just a minute clip of this. I've been obsessed with this song since it came out. And yeah, I love it. And the whole presentation of it. I know Matisse is on piano again, right?
Yep.
Great. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Check this out.
I love you. But I can't have you. So is the day that I write this song. I love you, but I can't have you. So is the day that I
production and such a soulful song. So you wrote that, right?
Yes, thank you. There's actually a YouTube clip I talk a little bit about my inspiration. I wrote it quite a while ago, and but it has stuck with me for so long. It's simple, but it's deep. It's universal, and you know, the secret behind it is that, you know, maybe it was written about somebody at the time, but the song itself has just served as such an amazing vehicle to play for years, all through life's experiences. So it can change, you know, its meaning while you're listening to it or while you're playing it, to just, you know, use to process whatever feelings that you're dealing with. So I didn't realize when I put out the album last year and the video recently, you know, just how timely it would be right now. The feeling, of course, that you're just sitting and you can't have what you want in that moment.
Yes, man, that's great. That's great. I just have a question before we play our collaborative one on "It's All Right, Okay." I mean, "All Right, Okay, You Win." So, seeing what the first clip we played to what you played live to this, it's such a wide span, and yet your voice kind of comes through in every aspect. So I'm just curious, all of your earlier music training and a lot of the jazz world music, how has that kind of impacted your songwriting in particular?
Well, in such a big way. I mean, I think as far as finding my own voice, a lot of that came from songwriting, because my way to write is just to clear space mentally, physically, and sit at the keyboard and see what comes out. Like, I don't have a process other than listening to what it is that I need to express at that time. And the more that I've done that, the more I've gotten to know, you know, what is important to me, what are things that I guess motivate me that I want to speak on a little bit. As far as my training, I mean, it's been everything. I focused early on the roots of jazz. Louis Armstrong, like you, is one of my biggest heroes. Right. And just the building blocks, the foundation of jazz, the real chunks of melody, rhythm, harmony, understanding those together, and being able to mix and match those in ways that you know, to bring other people. Mm-hmm. The history of music, the deeper I get into that, the more I feel that I can understand my part in the bigger picture, and also what my voice is at this time, bringing my own life experiences and great interest into it.
Well, it certainly all comes through in every note you play, in every situation. So I appreciate that. So the name of that song is "So Is the Day," right?
Yes, that is right. Yeah.
Okay, so they can just check it out on YouTube or on your site. Where is it at?
Yep, absolutely. The easiest way to find me online is Google Bria Trumpet. You don't have to spell my last name. There are links to the video on my website, and a transcription if anybody's interested in trying to play that solo. There's hopefully some weekend warriors out here.
Oh, cool.
That's available too. Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, thank you very much, Bria. So we'd like to now play this song that Bria, Matisse, and myself collaborated on, coming from Joe Williams and the Count Basie Orchestra. So check it out. This is "All Right, Okay, You Win." Excuse me. That one's really nice too. We'll check that out later. This is "All Right, Okay, You Win." Nice trumpet playing there. It's good.
I'm in love with you, well, alright, okay. You win, baby, what can I do? I'll do anything you say. It's just got to be that way. Well, alright, okay. You win, I'm in do. Anything you say, I'll do, as long as it's me and you. All that I am asking, all I want from you is just love me like I love you, and it won't be hard to do. Well, alright, okay, you win. I'm in love with you, well, alright, okay, you win. Baby, one thing more, if you're gonna be my man, sweet baby, take me by the hand. All that I am asking, all I want from you is just love me like I love you, and it won't be hard to do. Well, alright, okay, you win. I'm in love with you, well, alright, okay, you win. Baby, one thing more, if you're gonna be my man, sweet baby, take me by the hand.
That
All
was
right.
fun.
You win. You win.
Trying to keep up with you. Yeah.
Hey Dom, you know that's great to hear. You know that tune has an interesting history, which was it really kind of brought Count Basie back to the big time in the 1950s. You know, the big bands were having a tough time, and most of the big bands went out of business, including Basie for a short time. And he came back and he was trying to get his footing, and it was one of those magical moments with Joe Williams and the band, and it was just when rock and roll was starting to come out. And this tune was, right in that groove that, that the young kids who were digging R&B and Elvis Presley and everything else, they could hold on to this and do something else. And I just got to, the two trumpet stuff. I mean, King Oliver and Louis Armstrong have nothing on you guys. But
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
All kidding aside, I just wanted to say, I mean, who needs a big band when you have Matisse pumping away like that in the background?
Yeah, he really captured that, man. Yeah, Matisse.
Ridiculous.
Great.
Amazing. So much energy. Thank you for that.
No, it was beautiful.
Well,
It sounded great. I'm so glad to hear it. That was awesome. Yeah.
oh, yeah, you're hearing it for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yes, well, thank you all so much, Bria and Matisse and Diego and Julian and Lauren for joining us. We're coming to the end of our show now. We're going to take just a couple moments and then go into post-show Q&A, so you're welcome to stay with us. And that other clip of the other song, actually, maybe we'll play that in the Q&A. We're just running a bit short on time here, but I want to once again thank you so much, to thank Tri-C Jazz Fest of Cleveland for helping to bring this to lots of folks. We're glad to get behind their mission of putting quality content out there that's really accessible to everyone in our community. And thanks to social media, now everyone around the States and around the world, this is a pretty special and unique time that we're all trying to make the best of. And we really appreciate all of your support. Thank you very much for the great support to actually have gotten us to this stage from our pilot month in April. So we're constantly working to improve it and to do all kinds of interesting things. We have a lot of exciting special guests that are going to be joining us. We're here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And thank you all so much for joining us tonight. You're welcome to join us in the after hours breakout session. We're going to take just a couple minutes. All right. Thank you very much. See you soon.